So you're wondering how your photographer can make sure that she or he doesn't miss any part of your special day or any essential part of your special day, then go ahead and keep watching. I'm Georgia McGilly from Georgia Best Photography. I am a wedding and business branding photographer, and I release wedding advice and planning tips on this channel every single week on Saturdays. So go ahead and click subscribe if you enjoy this and you want to see more, and go ahead and click like, and we'll get straight into it. So today we're going to be talking about the getting ready photos, all that kind of time from the moment you start getting ready all the way up to the beginning of the ceremony. So getting ready shots. Normally when you're getting your hair done and makeup done, you don't really want a camera in your face, but on your wedding day, these moments are really, really special. So the first thing that I always think that you want to make sure that you're getting ready is your hair and makeup. So when you've got your makeup artist there and your hair stylist there, they'll probably be quite used to working with a photographer, but I'd also make sure that they know that you want those photos being taken. And from a photographer's point of view, I usually wait until the hair and makeup are just on the verge of nearly getting done, and then I'll come in and just say to the hair and makeup artist, can you just give us a second, and we'll just take a few photos of you finishing, doing the last kind of little touches, putting that last little bit of lippy on, and then take photos of the bride kind of sat there just having her last kind of hairpins put in or having her veil put in, all those sorts of kind of little intimate pieces, because you don't want photos of you with half a face of makeup. That's not very attractive. So make sure that it's kind of towards the end of your kind of like getting ready hair and makeup process before you start capturing those photos. I always recommend to my couples to make sure that they get any little details that they want photographs of all together before their wedding day. So I tend to say designate that to somebody to make sure that you've got things like your rings, your shoes, any pieces of jewellery, things like maybe your bouquet, any loose flowers. I highly recommend that you order just a few extra loose flowers of the same sort of florals that you've got in the florals for your whole day, in your bouquet and your buttonholes, that are loose, that the photographer can just play with, so that they can kind of do a flat lay of all of your details, or whatever the style is. Other things that you can put in there are things like having pictures of your vows. So if you are doing personal vows, you've got a celebrant rather than kind of a traditional church ceremony, and you are having personalised vows, then have a photo of those laid out. Make sure that you save an invitation suite, one of the copies of your invitations, just keep blank, that you haven't sent to somebody, so that your photographer can take photos of that as well. And for me, I always recommend that I have a whole hour before those sort of getting ready, like the end of the hair and makeup photos need to be done, or the bridesmaids getting into their dresses, or the bride getting into dress, all those sort of photos. I make sure that I've got an hour before that. I arrive an hour earlier than that to make sure that I really capture all those little details. A lot of couples have special mementos that they've got within their wedding. Maybe a family member isn't able to make it, so they've got something special that belonged to them there. So all those sort of little details that you're going to include in your day, make sure that you've got them all in one place. I recommend just popping them in a box or a basket a couple of days before, so that they're there ready. So when the photographer arrives to your house or to the hotel, wherever you're getting ready, she or he can just go and grab them and get on with it, and not have to bother you and stress you out on the day. Moving on to the actual getting ready photos, I recommend you go all out, buy champagne, and kind of have all those fun photos of you just really enjoying your morning. So as we said, hair and makeup, just as the hair and makeup artists are finishing off, just make sure that you've got a few shots of those kind of things happening. Then have any hair pieces or veils or anything like that being put in. If you've decided to write a letter to your partner, and your partner has decided to write a letter to you, if those sort of things are happening in the morning of, then save them till the photographer's there and open them in the moment, so that he or she can capture those kind of like really emotional, special moments while you're reading those beautiful words from your loved one. When it comes to getting into your dress, it depends on the photographer, but I'm happy to either be in the room as you're getting into it, or I can step out. You can have a bridesmaid or your mum or somebody close to you help you get into your dress, do the buttons or do the zips so far up, kind of so that you're nice and comfortably in it. Then I'll step back into the room and just make sure I get some shots of you kind of just finishing off putting that dress on. So whether it's just buttoning the last button up, kind of smoothing out the skirt, doing anything like just pulling the last zip up, make sure that you've got a loved one who's going to help you do that, whether it is your mum or your sister or a really close friend that's going to help you kind of like get into your dress and have those special excited moments as you really finish off your look. And we can always make sure that we grab you putting your shoes on after that when you've already got your dress on, and any other kind of little bits, putting some earrings in the mirror. Beautiful shots like that really capture those kind of special excited moments of the day. You also want to make sure that you get lots of photos of you and your girls just having lots of fun and enjoying kind of sipping champagne, popping the champagne, sitting and having breakfast together, chatting. And a good documentary photographer will just capture that as the day goes on. But I also recommend that you make sure that your photographer knows you want those shots, just in case they don't normally do that, so that you can capture all of those little moments. Moving on to the groom. As kind of hair and makeup isn't going to be done in the same way, I would say just make sure that your photographer comes in as you're kind of putting the final touches onto your outfit. So maybe have your suit trousers and your belt and your shirt on already, but kind of get some shots of you just putting your jacket on, doing your tie up, popping your shoes on, maybe kind of combing your hair, those kind of last little bits. If you're going to have a drink with your mates, go ahead and do that as well, so that you can get some shots of you with the ushers or the best men or anybody else who you've got there getting involved. Moving back to the bride, just before you leave to go to the ceremony, I always recommend that you get some kind of more formal portraits of you and your bridesmaids, you and your parents or grandparents, anybody who might be there as you're getting ready, so that you've got those kind of really lovely, like, intimate family photos before we move on to doing big group photos after the ceremony. And then last but not least, before you've done any photos with your parents, if whoever's kind of walking down the aisle, if you've got a granddad or your dad or somebody else special to you like that who's going to be walking down the aisle, I would recommend that you keep them out of the way while you're getting ready, and then have that kind of special orchestrated moment where they walk in and see you fully dressed with your hair and makeup on and all that sort of thing. And just make sure that the photographer knows that. So when I do photos like this, I always make sure that the dad stays right out the way, and then when you're ready, you kind of like all dressed with your bouquet in your hands, your veil on, or any kind of pieces that you might be wearing. And then you call your dad through, and the photographer can stand behind you and capture those moments as he sees his baby girl all dressed up, ready to get married, or, you know, all those sort of little captured moments. And it's just really lovely to make sure that you don't forget those moments and kind of even orchestrate them happening, because those moments are going to happen. But if the photographer doesn't know you want to capture them or isn't ready for it and you just do it anyway, then you're not going to really get those kind of beautifully framed moments. And equally the same if you want photos of your bridesmaids all kind of having their first reaction of seeing you dressed. You could have them at the bottom of the stairs, the photographer behind you, and them dressed in their bridesmaids dresses already, and kind of have her or him capturing those photos as you walk down the stairs and they see you for the first time in your dress. So all of those moments, you need to just make sure that you have thought about it and that your photographer's thought about it too. And if you have a good photographer, or if you book me, we'll have gone through all of that with you already, so that you're all completely ready and you don't have to stress about it on the day. And then my last kind of few photos would just be getting into the car, anybody helping pass you things, all those sort of little natural moments. Just make sure you explain to your photographer that you want the kind of extra moments of the day all captured and not just the formal portraits. So there you have it. Those are my recommendations for part 1 of the day. Just the kind of getting ready photos. Make sure that you kind of list them all down. I'll pop some in the description below so that you can copy and paste if you want kind of a tick off checklist. I've also got my wedding planning checklist and guide in the description below that you can grab for free, so to just help you on this wedding planning journey. Make sure that you don't forget to hit subscribe. I'm Georgia McGilly from Georgia Beth Photography, and I will see you guys really, really soon. Enjoy your wedding planning.